completed. Crafting completed. Crafting completed. Crafting completed. Crafting completed.
Bullfrogs were fused with crystal formations, just like the Crystalros that we encountered earlier. Crafting completed. critters were getting up after we slain them. Every time they got up, there was a bright flash of energy from the crystals on their backs. Mr. Riggs, did you detect any traces of anoraks within them?
Negative, Ashley. It appears that this is an indigenous species that evolved this way.
A lot of creatures in this biome are fused with crystal formations. There's an abundance of rich mineral deposits in these caverns, but why do these creatures attach them to their bodies?
If they can metabolize the minerals within these crystals, then they might be using them as a source of energy, similarly to fat for most of Earth-based animals, or sugar in the case of plants.
That would make sense. However, something tells me that there's more to this.
Ashley, I have detected something unusual.
What is it?
There is an area nearby that is blocking all signals. It is like a black hole for my sensors. Nothing is coming from or through there.
That's indeed unusual. Maybe that's why we weren't able to detect the source of the earthquakes. Let's check that out.
New technology has been developed. New blueprints are available for crafting.
technology has been developed. New blueprints are available for crafting.
Mr. Rix, this is Anna Rix. The phantom pain in my arm is back. I can feel it resonating near these crystals.
Warning! The Anorix crystals cover the walls and ceiling of the passage. They block all signals going in or out of this place. We will not be able to rig jump away from this place. This means that if I am destroyed in there, it will be final.
We should prepare the strongest gear before going in there. I'm afraid to go inside, but at the same time, it makes me angry that I lost my arm because of this thing. Amazing. I've never seen a creature like this. The Anorix crystals are fused with its body like an infection or a parasite.
You are not of this world. You brought this plague here. I will crush you. Danger! The creature is preparing to attack. I am rerouting maximum power to combat systems. Is healing itself. We need to interrupt it, or we won't stand a chance.
New buildings are available for construction.
That is enough. I think we've seriously wounded it. It stopped attacking us.
The creature has raised a barrier. We have to find a way to destroy it and kill this monster before it spreads the Anorix infection.
This poison is consuming my thoughts. Why did you come here? Why do you attack me?
I don't want to fight you. I came here to destroy the substance that's corrupting your world.
Your voice whispers to me just like these crystals. I don't believe you. Why do you want to get inside my head?
I mean you no harm. Let me help you. I can remove this poison from your body.
No, these crystals heal me. I wanted to destroy them, but it was a mistake. They sing a good song of love and tranquility. I feel their love for this world, and now they want to protect it from you and your kind. They will unite us all.
Ashley, I do not understand how you can communicate with this creature, but it has clearly gone insane from the Anorix. The barrier is collapsing. We can kill it as soon as it's eroded completely.
No, I don't think we have to. We can try to remove the Anorix crystals from its body when the barrier is down.
That is a huge risk, Ashley. You don't know what the creature will do, and I don't know if I can shield you from so much direct exposure to Anorix. This is a crazy idea.
The pain is unbearable. Too many voices in my head. They are eating my thoughts.
Kill the creature, Ashley. We cannot let it escape into the wild.
The pain!
Error! System malfunction! No! Ashley! Situation critical! Cardiac hyperarrhythmia detected. Emergency AED procedure in progress. Defibrillation in 3, 2, 1. Operator heart rate stopped. Administering intravenous cardiac stimulant treatment. Operator not responding to treatment. Heart rate stopped. Situation critical. Defibrillation in 3, 2, 1. Wake up, Ashley! Wake up, you stupid human! Defibrillation in 3, 2, 1. Operator heart rate returning. Ashley, you... I thought you were gone. You scared a robot. That was so stupid. Why did you do that?
What happened here? Everything hurts.
Morphine administered. The pain will go away in a moment. You removed an Anorix crystal from the creature's body, and it exploded with an unknown energy spectrum. It almost killed you.
I wanted to help that creature. It was infected by Anorix, but it looked like it was still fighting its influence. I thought we could save it. I'm sorry, Mr. Riggs. That was bad judgment.
I understand your intentions, Ashley. However, I think that this action was irrational. You didn't act like yourself. How were you even able to communicate with that creature?
I don't know. It felt like I was just talking to it. I didn't grasp that in the heat of battle. Now that I think of it, it does sound surreal.
The creature has escaped us. and it looks like it is the main carrier of the Anorix contamination.
Let's call it the Anorix worm, for a lack of better name. But yes, I think you're probably right. The Anorix bioanomalies that we first noticed appeared as a result of the worm's movement underground. And it looks like the Anorix crystals in this cave have grown around its presence.
The battle with the monster opened up a new passage underground. It looks like a traversable tunnel to a lower level of these caves. We should go there as soon as possible.
I agree, but we can't leave all of these Anorix crystals here. It's too risky.
Understood, Ashley. I will leave a timed explosive behind us. It will shatter the crystals and collapse the cave.
Okay, that should do the trick. Let's proceed to the lower levels of the cavern system. New technology has been developed. New blueprints are available for crafting.
Ashley, we've reached a lower level of the cavern system. This is as deep as this tunnel can take us.
This place is amazing. We've been walking down for a bit, but I can still see glimpses of the sky in some places through the sponge-like ceiling structure.
Remember that the ground level above us is not even. Some of the crevices on the surface were a few hundred meters deep, so even though we've traveled deep underground, the ceiling above us might be just a few meters thick in some places.
Okay, so where do we go from here? This looks like a dead end.
First, we should build an outpost on this level and use it as a forward base of operations. These limestone walls are relatively soft. I can dig through them with my drilling tools. We could even blow them up with explosives. Try digging in any direction, and I will scan the area in search of a good building location.
Fascinating. This place must be the remains of a primal coral reef. I kind of feel bad just drilling through it.
This ancient seabed stretches for hundreds of kilometers. Our presence is negligible.
You're right. Let's focus on tracking down the Anorix worm.
Ashley, I found a few locations that should be good to set up an outpost.
Excellent. Let's try digging our way to the closest one. technology has been developed.
New blueprints are available for crafting. Directions.
Where are they coming from?
From the caves and from the ceilings. They are everywhere, actually.
That was intense. It's going to be much harder to predict enemy attacks in this biome. They can literally crawl out from anywhere.
There is plenty of resources and open space around this location. This is a good spot to set up an outpost. be developed. New buildings are available for construction. Construction in progress. This building is a local version of our headquarters. It will allow me to reconstruct whenever I am destroyed. And it has a permanent rift station that we can rift jump to at any time.
It will also allow us to automatically transfer all of the resources that are mined in this location back to our HQ, even if we're not present in this location. We can construct a network of such outposts around the planet to build up our economy. It's the only way to acquire enough resources to construct the Rift Station and all of its components.
Be mindful of where we place these buildings, though. Our headquarters have a capacity limit of how many outposts we can support at once. So whenever there is no use for an outpost, we should deconstruct it and recycle the resources that were used to build it.
Getting power in this biome is going to be a bit more tricky. I've noticed wind tunnels here and there. They produce enough airflow to power our wind turbines, but we'll have to place them close to the vents. We might be able to place solar panels under the cracks in the ceiling. They should be efficient, but space is an issue. So I'm not sure if it's worth going that route.
Do not forget about carbonium and biomass power plants. They are very efficient. We might even be able to gather substantial amounts of biomass from the mushrooms that grow in these caves.
That's true. I've noticed some of them grow back right in front of us. This could be interesting.
This so-called crystal cavern, as you've dubbed it, Ashley, is very rich in resources. It would be a good idea to explore it further and expand our mining operations.
The Crystal Cavern's outpost is operational. We've got our foot in the door. Now, let's try to find that Anorix worm.
Affirmative. I'm trying to map the cavern network, but I do not have enough geospatial information to create a sufficient approximation model. We have to explore a larger portion of this level to create an appropriate positioning model.
Excellent. Let's go treasure hunting.
Energy emission in progress. Something is happening near our position. We should check that location.
Thank you for trying to help me, creature. A gift for your kindness.
I heard it, Mr. Riggs. I heard the creature in my head.
How? I did not detect any incoming signals.
I don't know how it reached me, but it thanked me for trying to help it. That's so encouraging. Maybe we can still save it.
Nonsense. You practically died trying to save that creature, and you only destroyed a small piece of Anorix on its body. Even if it was not a hallucination and it did speak to you, I would not expect it to be able to cure itself. This is only wishful thinking.
Maybe. We'll have to see that when we find it. Either way, it said something about a gift, and you said you detected an energy emission. Let's check what that was. Crystals must have grown here in a matter of seconds. They're very rich in resources. We should harvest them.
creatures are closing in on our base. Prepare for an attack. Detecting a large group of creatures heading towards our position. geospatial data about these caverns to start building an approximation model of the entire underground system. Please wait while the information is being processed. Geospatial data processing complete. I have discovered a recurring pattern of hard rock layers that are intertwined with softer limestone formations and large caverns filled with rich crystalline deposits. This complex superstructure is risky to navigate and explore with a large industrial-sized mining drill. If we drill in the wrong location, we can collapse an entire area, burying us inside. However, if we could probe the layers below us, then we could look for hard rock, vertical pillar that we could drill in.
It sounds dangerous, but I think it should work. We don't have a lot of schematics for subterranean exploration, but I think that we could use sonic grenades to improvise a seismic code.
That is a good idea, Ashley. I can tune my sensors to use the resonating sonic waves as geomapping information.
Excellent. Do we have to download the blueprints for the sonic grenades?
No, I can decompress them from my quantum backup archive.
What? That's unfair. You had a secret schematic archive and you didn't tell me about it? What else are you hiding?
I do not know that. I am not aware of archive data until I specifically query about it. My working memory dataset is not big enough to contain everything that I've ever recorded.
Okay. Let's equip those grenades and we'll see what we can do with them.
New technology has sonic grenades release a strong shockwave of compressed air that can deal slight damage within a large radius. We need to throw one of these grenades into the deepest crevice that we can find here. I have marked the perfect candidate on your map, Ashley.
Okay, let's see if this works. Basic technology has been developed. New buildings are available for construction.
Incoming from all directions.
Bombs away. I hope this works.
The sonic waves are resonating deep underground. It is working, Ashley. Give me a moment to process the data.
Fingers crossed.
We have a success, Ashley, but it is only partial. The geomapping data covered the layer that is immediately below us, but it did not penetrate deep enough. There is a large empty cavern below us, and we can drill down to it, but I do not know if we can go any deeper than that.
Is it worth going there? It could just be a dead end and a large waste of time.
Yes, the cavern that I mentioned has a vast network of outgoing tunnels. We can probe them to gather geomapping data that goes much deeper than what we have now. We could use that information to drill directly to the deepest layers of the cavern network. This way, we might be able to catch up with the Anorix world.
Okay, I guess that's the best plan that we have. Where should we place the drill that would take us to the cavern below?
I have marked the optimal location on your map. This is the only safe location that I have mapped. If we try drilling somewhere else, we risk collapsing everything around us. detecting a large group of creatures heading towards our position.